Matthew, and welcome to a drizzle-filled day in the Hammer as the 0-3 Tiger Cats aim to break their win column goose egg against Ottawa, who brings their home winning ways on the road for the first time in quite some time. Welcome to Tim Hortons Field, everybody. Marshall Ferguson, Dwayne Ford, and Kenzie Lalonde at field level for us throughout the evening. Looking forward to seeing Jeremiah Masoli back in the fray here for the Redblacks.
Yeah, exactly. Jeremiah Masoli brought to Ottawa a year ago with big expectations after spending the majority of his career as a Hamilton Tiger Cat. Has been out for essentially a full year with that leg injury. Excited to see him back in action amongst those trying to spoil Jeremiah's return to Tim Hortons Field. Jameer Thurman leading the Ticats in tackles after 270 tackles as a member of the Calgary Stampeders.
There's Orlando Steinauer, 7-0 against these Ottawa Redblacks, and excited to get an opportunity here at home to vanquish some of the doubts that were placed in Week 3 in the loss against Montreal. And there's Bob Dice, 0-3 against Hamilton, but 1-0 in his last one, and that is the number that matters to this Ottawa Redblacks club, as they're extremely excited to be able to have a little bit of momentum, breathing some life into the franchise thanks to Tyree Adams. Unfortunate to have the ACL injury in that game, but they do get Jeremiah Masoli back. Hamilton won the coin toss. They decide they want the football right away. It's a beautiful night here in Hamilton. The rain is cleared for now. Feels like 21 degrees, and we are underway from the donut box. Hamilton returns it across the 25 to the 30 and out to the 38-yard line. And that is where we will get a look at Matthew Schiltz. 9th career start a couple weeks ago in a career high 347 passing yards.
The good news for Matthew Schiltz is he faces Ottawa here looking for his first win of the season. Undefeated in two starts against the Redblacks in his career. He, of course, filling in for Bo Levi Mitchell, looking to get this Ticat offense into the end zone.
David Beard there lining up at center throughout the evening for Hamilton, calling the protections for an offensive line that's held up well. They'll begin on the ground, something Hamilton does not do very much at all, as James Butler gets his first touch. Let's get a look at the starting offense for the Tiger Cats.
Yeah, and up front they welcome back Coulter Wood-Manzi to his position at right guard. Good to get another veteran in that lineup for a team starting 2 rookies at tackle. In the receiving corps, Duke Williams has posted back-to-back 100-yard efforts, 102 yards in each of his last 2 games. Only receiver to go back-to-back over the century mark so far in 2023.
Schiltz in the gun on 2nd and 8. Looks to his left, comes back right over the middle. It is complete, and they'll move the chains on 2nd and 7 plus. Hamilton, the 2nd worst team in the CFL, at doing so, but opening up with a great connection here.
Richie Sindani, the intended target. You see him just to the right of the quarterback. And that waggle catches the linebacker widening, slips into the middle. Nice hook up to move the sticks for Matthew Schiltz and the Ticat O.
An offense that's 7th in the CFL right now, just 19 points per game. They've started very slowly, whether it's Schiltz or Mitchell, trying to rectify that here in Week 5. High snap, Schiltz gets it down, hands it off once again to the ground game, goes Butler, cuts back, makes 2 men miss, and gets wrapped up after a gain of about 5. Here's the Ottawa starting defense, 3rd best in the CFL, just 17.3 points per game allowed.
Yeah, and a defensive front that is led by the league's reigning defensive player of the year, Lorenzo Malden, the former Hamilton Tiger Cat. Douglas Coleman currently leading the team in sacks with 3 through their opening few games of the season. Keep an eye on Brandon Dandridge on the corner. He'll also do special teams duty in the return game.
And a nice extra push there at the end of the run from Hamilton, but they tried to run it on 2nd and a few yards, and it looks like they're going to be just shy. So the first decision here.
And James Butler getting some early action here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a team that, not even just this season, but historically, Marshall, have not been a run-first offense. But I suspect a little bit of reevaluation may be happening over the course of the bye week for them in terms of offensive philosophy.
It's Taylor Powell in the ball game here, plunging his way forward. It will be very close, but it does look like he got the yardage required. And yeah, they had the full bye week to be able to reassess everything, Dwayne. And yeah, you do get the sense that maybe a little bit more of an emphasis on trying to find the running game.
Yeah, and I think you've got to commit to that a little bit, especially when you go out in free agency. You get a guy like James Butler, you got him for a reason. But in addition to that, we talked about the young offensive line. Let's put these guys in a position to be successful. So you get a look on the sidelines at one of the newest Ticats, Kai Loxley, just joining the team this week. We thought we might see him in short yardage, but as a late arrival, it's going to be Taylor Powell in that role.
This time they'll fake the run outside to Sindani, stutters the feed, and another first down for Hamilton. 13-yard pickup.
Well, looking at another early positive for the Ticats here offensively. Richie Sindani with a couple of catches, as I think it's so important for this team to make sure they're getting receivers not named Duke Williams or Tim White involved, especially early in ball games.
Sindani just one catch on the season coming in. He's got 2 for 30 yards here on the opening drive. Schultz goes outside this time, zips it out. DeAndre Smith hauls it in.
Keem Bailey there with the tackle, but Schultz recognizing that they're giving that wide side wide out. Keandre Smith up at the top of your screen, giving him a pretty good cushion. Take the easy yards. Zipping it out there.
Ottawa pass rush with 12 on the year digs in here on 2nd and 4. Schultz gets it away underneath, completed, running towards the end zone. Terry Godwin, he was a game time decision, and he is in and brings it inside the 10-yard line as well behind the play. I think that's Lorenzo Malden, who is down and injured, and he will need attention immediately.
And you keep an eye on this play. Malden is rushing off the edge. Keep an eye on how the Tiger Cats are going to release Butler. A little extra chip. Malden is a guy who, based on his production, particularly last year, has earned a little bit of extra attention. Coming from the bottom of your screen, there's the chip from the running back. Looked like he just got a bit of a shot to an exposed rib cage there.
Yeah, we were in Montreal last year when he got dinged in that upper body. We'll step away as they take a look. Matthew Schultz 2 weeks ago against the Montreal Alouettes, as I said off the top, 345 yards, and really it just came down to a couple of decisions he wished he could have back, or that game might have been much different. Yeah,
absolutely. Schultz came out, made some big plays which had been lacking for the Hamilton offense through their first couple of outings, but as you said, a couple of picks in that one. That Wes Sutton pick at a critical time and field position that really kind of capped off the outcome of that football game.
Dialed in here early as he's 4 for 4. Lorenzo Malden makes his way to the sideline, and we'll wait to see whether he gets back into the fold. But for now, substitution in on the defensive line for the Ottawa Redblacks as James Butler stands behind Schultz. They'll look to Butler, stretch run outside, trying to find a cutback, and he will get into the 5-yard line after a gain of about 4.
And I like the way Butler really attacks the edge on this one, which forces the defense to widen hard. And that's what creates the cutback lane for him, as he's basically without blockers on the outside. You saw the free safety, Justin Howell, basically forced to commit to contain on that one. Nice cutback to get north-south by Butler and turn that into a positive play.
See Felix Grangoche, the fullback, shifting to the left alongside Butler here. Creative alignment. Schultz looks to the left, slant route to the outside, and it is incomplete on 2nd down, intended for Terry Godwin.
Yeah, Schultz had double ins or double slants happening on this one. Had Butler to the inside, Godwin coming behind. You keep an eye. I got the feeling that Schultz might have wanted to go to Butler here first, but he stumbled going over the goal line. He's got to wait for that second window to open up to Godwin. Defenders able to get there and get a hand on it.
Mark Leggio has not missed as a member of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This one just a chip shot from 13 yards away. Hammers it through into the Stickley bar as we get a look at Jeremiah Masoli back in Hamilton. Excited to make his return. So much hype around number 8 being back in red and black.
The return of Jeremiah Masoli highlights week 5 in the CFL on Saturday.
It's rid of the ball.
Mazzoli. Now he's going to look towards the end zone. Got him!
It's been a long road back from injury for Jeremiah Mazzoli.
Jeremiah Mazzoli is back in Hamilton as you get a look at his time as a member of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. 15,000 passing yards, 80 passing touchdowns. He could move around. He did a lot here in Hamilton, didn't he, Dwayne?
Oh, he certainly did. An MOP finalist as a member of the Ticats. So close to winning a Grey Cup here. Coming off the bench.
A couple of different times, and the black and gold is wrapped up and brought down. It is Tuggle with the first touch of the ball game, but for Jeremiah Mazzoli, 17 games out. The team went 5-12 without him in the line. He only played 4 games last year before he ended the season, of course, with that devastating injury in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and a long road back, obviously, for Jeremiah Mazzoli, both physically and mentally, quite frankly. And, you know, I think I speak for many fans and observers of the Canadian Football League. This is just thrilled to see him back on the field.
And it happens to be right here in Hamilton. So many connection points for Mazzoli and his family as he zips this one underneath, completes his first pass of 2023, and it will move the chains for the Redblacks.
And quick hitter there. Seosi Mariner is just going to get that inside position, creating a high percentage situation. You see the inside receiver occupying the will linebacker, Simone Lawrence. Opening up that hole for Mariner coming underneath.
Mazzoli with a pressure look on here will keep the football himself and get wrapped up. Brought down, Richard Leonard flying down from his field halfback spot.
Well, when you talk about the pre-scripting of plays, particularly on opening drives, I kind of like this idea as Jeremiah Mazzoli's running ability, his mobility, has always been a big part of his game and a big part of his success in the league. But a part that you had to wonder if, again, mentally, confidence-wise, was going to be affected by the injury. I like that call early.
And he told us this week that he was excited about the first hit, just to shake off the dust, feel what it feels like to actually get hit in game uniform. Well, check that one off. Looks out to his right this time, zips it. Incomplete, intended for Tuggle as Chris Edwards was there in coverage. And it'll be the punting unit coming out for Ottawa.
Yeah, appeared from this angle that Tuggle just took his eyes off the football to take a peek at what was coming upfield in front of him. For Mazzoli, facing just a 3-man rush, recognizing that anything downfield was going to be taken away. He opts for that swing, the outlet to the running back, but unable to connect there.
Richie Leone out to send this one away. Second all-time now in average punting for punters with over 700 boots. Drops this one down inside the 10. It's a 46-yard punt. Flag is up. And we will clean it up on the other side as Matthew Schultz comes back out onto the field. Last year, Hamilton made the playoffs after an 0-4 start. They'd like to avoid that here with Schultz at the controls. Bo Levi Mitchell still out with injury as 18 controls when we return. Tim White, a couple weeks ago against the Montreal Alouettes, especially on the opening drive, bombs. That's all this guy catches.
Yeah, the Ticats, we wondered if this was setting the tone, opening play from scrimmage for them in that ball game. Schultz goes deep to White. They had a couple of big hitters in that ball game, but a game in which they were unable to find the end zone. Tim White looking to add a few more TDs to those big yardage totals.
He begins on the sideline. Here's a bit of a heavy set in for the Tiger Cats on offense. They once again run it on first down right into the pile. Going nowhere that time. As they mix it up with Tyreek McAllister getting a touch.
Yeah, we expect to see McAllister primarily. You see this 3-back set. McAllister, the deep man here. Butler to the left. Garon Gauthier to the right. Lorenzo Malden demonstrating that he's just fine fighting off the block to make a play on that one.
Leaves Hamilton with 2nd and 10. Deep at their own 25. 4 receivers to the left of Schultz. He rolls away from it, looking for some help. Now he'll use the wheels. Has to get across to the 35. He's very close. And he gets popped out of bounds. No flags come up. And it looks like he'll have it, depending on the spot.
We've talked about this before, the underrated part of Matthew Schultz's game, but watch, Bryce Carter gets caught inside on the rush. Nobody in contain, allows Schultz to get around the edge and scoot for that first down.
He does get the yardage required. Hamilton running the football, Dwayne, on just 28% of their first down so far this year. We've already seen it 3 times, and Bo Levi Mitchell loves it. As Schultz wheels out, again, they begin in that diamond formation, then motion out. They'll flip out the long handoff here to Butler. They outnumber the Redblacks, and across the 50, all the way out to the 53.5 goes James Butler.
On the heavy workload, as you mentioned, the run game, but also here in the passing game, heavy workload continuing for James Butler. Swinging out of that backfield again, going with the 2 tailback look in there, he and McAllister together, giving Ottawa a few new wrinkles.
Won't count as his longest rush of the year as it was a pass, but it would have been his longest rush as this time they go option, and Schultz will hold on to it. This little first down gainer that time with the quarterback, and you got McAllister going this way, Butler going that way, Grand Gauthier the other.
Yeah, here you're going to see things collapse down hard once again. Carter off the edge, biting hard on that run fake to James Butler. That's what Matthew Schultz is reading as he keeps the ball and pulls it, goes around the outside.
Tim White does check into the ball game here. They'll go with the 5 receiver set, and flag comes up, and Schultz shakes his head in frustration.
Time count violation, Hamilton, number 18. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
And this has been a little bit of the issue for the Hamilton Tiger Cats early in this 2023 season. It's not that they're necessarily making more mistakes than other teams. It's when and where, situation-wise, these mistakes are occurring.
Great look there at Matthew Schultz, yelling at the offensive line, pointing at the play clock, trying to get the sense of urgency to go up as you see the matchup of the most and least penalized teams in the Canadian Football League here today, battling it out in the East Division. Schultz moves McAllister last second across the formation. Now 18 steps up, he'll go down. The pass rush once again gets home for the Ottawa Redblacks. Best sack percentage against dropbacks in the CFL. They had 12% of opponent dropbacks being brought to the turf coming into this one.
And you're going to see here Bryce Carter coming from that left defensive end spot. A little bit of a twist between he and the tackle, Leon Lang, that Hamilton had trouble picking up.
Went after Coulter Woodmansey here in his return to the lineup for Hamilton. His punt hangs high in the middle of the field, and it will be returned. Save on Scarborough after a 48-yard punt. Returned back to the 31-yard line. This Ottawa pass rush, it's kept them in some football games. They trail early. Never easy to see Jeremiah Masoli in the injury that ended his 2022 campaign. It's been a long path back for Masoli, and his support system has been a major part of it. For more on that, we go down to field level. For the first time, here is Kenzie Lalonde.
Yeah, behind every athlete's recovery is a unique support system. And for Jeremiah Masoli, it was very much his family that he relied on. In particular, his wife, Ivanga. He said she will be the first one to say he was a little grumpy during the beginnings of his rehabilitation process, but she is the one who kept him grounded. She made sure he focused on the present. And yesterday, while he received the gift of his support system, his wife, Ivanga, and kids surprised Jeremiah on the plane right here to Hamilton. And when they arrived, well, there was one more prize in store. His mom, Linda, was here. The team made sure his entire support system would be here for his first game back in a year's time with the Ottawa Redblacks. Guys?
And the Hamilton Tiger Cats as well getting the Masoli some nice seats to be able to watch Jeremiah's return. Great cooperation between these franchises. At this time, the running game for the Redblacks. It is Tuggle churning the legs, just outran the tackle for loss attempt from Jagarrett Davis. But for Jeremiah Masoli to be back here, I mean, you can imagine how difficult the last year has been for him and the emotions he's carrying into tonight.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, the nature of the injury, the length of the recovery for him, of course there's going to be a degree of trepidation. It's not easy to get that feeling out of the back of your mind.
Some nervous moments for Redblacks fans here early on. Wanted to see how he could move, what he looked like in the pocket. All good so far. As this time Masoli hands it off inside. Black and gold defense stacks it up on 2nd and 4.
Well, best known as a pass rusher, but watch the job that Jagarrett Davis does on the edge. Right side of your screen, he's going to appear to stand up the block. Right in the hole, fights it off. Comes off to join Chris Edwards in making the tackle.
Might not seem like a lot, but the Hamilton Tiger Cats defense worst in the CFL at getting off the field on 2nd and 4 to 6. They do it successfully that time. The punt is away. We've already had a handful of punt return touchdowns this season. Not much in the return game thus far. Good punt again from Leone, 43 with the hop. The Ottawa offense can't produce thanks to that man, JG, who was actually in attendance on Monday for the Toronto BC game down at BMO Field.
A short trip down the Queen Elizabeth Way for Jagarrett Davis into familiar surroundings after spending the 2022 season as a member of the Argonauts. Jagarrett looking to keep his Grey Cup appearance streak alive every year of his career. Whatever team he's on has made it to the big dance.
Defensive line coach Randy Melvin talking it through with JG and the crew as the offense for Hamilton goes to work. To the outside, it is complete. DeAndre Smith hauls it in from Schultz. Abdul Kana there to finish off the play. As Schultz adds another completion.
And you see Hamilton now working a little bit of play action into their pass game. As they have been run heavy early, we've seen Schultz as well pull the ball and run himself. Let's go, man. Now building off of that. You see Duke Williams on that same side. Hoping he might get a deep shot there.
Duke's always throwing the hand.
Now Milt Stiegel will tell you, the best receivers are always open.
Inside handoff for James Butler on 2nd and 3. Gotta get to the 44 of the Tiger Cats, and they will successfully. As the Hamilton Tiger Cats lead going to the end of the first with a 3-0 advantage. And the offense back to the line of scrimmage here as Schultz empties it out momentarily. 4-by-2, stretching that Ottawa defense horizontally on the last play of the first quarter. Schultz gets it out. It is complete. It goes to Duke Williams. He's got himself back-to-back 100-yard efforts. The only receiver in the CFL to do that so far this season. And Hamilton a 3-0 advantage through 1 quarter of play against the Ottawa Redblacks. Hamilton has been outscored this season by 26 points in the first quarter of ball games. Tight one here after 1 in Hamilton.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you in part by Bell. Join the thousands who choose Pure Fiber Internet every week.
Claire stayed in this amazing hotel and paid this much for her room. Jess found the same hotel on Trivago and paid a lot less. Trivago compares hotel offers from major booking sites so you can find the best deal for you. Hotel Trivago.
Cindy, do you think our crispy flavor will last forever?
All we have is thin crust summer, Billy.
But I love you.
No, you love the flavor of this thin, crispy crust.
I can't help it.
Peace out, Billy.
It's a hot and ready thin crust summer at Little Caesars. Delivery. Here, we never hold back. We don't need to make noise to be heard. Our hustle meets heart.
Here, nothing is given.
Us, we can weather anything. We are all for one. The wildest of the West, where nothing is out of reach.
And we can rise to any height.
It's not just your home team. It's home.
Plays have been called for him so far, particularly as I mentioned. Let him test the legs a little bit. You probably hold your breath a bit if you're Bob Dyson, Kahari Jones, and you know you have him on the run. But there's, in the big picture, a need to do it in terms of building his comfort and confidence in the early going in this football game.
Back and forth, a couple of possessions here between these two, and Mark Leggio field goal from 13 yards out is the difference so far. There's that 26-point deficit in first quarters that I mentioned for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It's 27 points in the second quarter. They have really struggled out of the gate in ball games so far this year, but not allowing anything. Be happy to see that for the Ticats faithful. As short yardage, and it is. It looks like getting stacked up. Schiltz trying to reach across. It's Justin Howell comes flying in. A flag comes with it. I don't think they had blown that play dead before Howell came in, though, Dwayne.
No, I certainly didn't think so. Schiltz was still fighting, struggling, trying to pick up that yardage.
Unnecessary roughness. Ottawa, number 21. It's 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, maybe a little bit of the feeling of that human torpedo shot head-to-head coming from the free safety Howell.
Former 7th-round pick out of Carleton, 55th overall. Running the back end of this defense that has done well against deep shots so far this season. Schiltz gets the yardage into the 40 of Ottawa. Sindani crosses the ball at the snap here. Schiltz will keep it. Looks to Sindani. Now he has to go second level. Wheel route over the top. And it's incomplete. There's the coverage right there to drive away that throw from Brandon Dandridge.
Well, Marshall, you mentioned that point differential in opening quarters. Here's extending that through the first 2 quarters of ball games. The Ticats outscored by 50 points in the opening 30 minutes of games thus far.
One of the things I looked at coming into this one was, like we talked about, the first down rushing attempts. How can you run it on first down when you're trailing by 50 through first halves, right? So different game plan here tonight. They'll screen it out. This one to Sindani, trying to cut it back. Defensive line rallies to make the play. First overall pick in the global draft, Blessman Teala, right there to bring down Sindani.
Yeah, Teala proving to be a great pick for Ottawa. You see him working from the nose here. Comes on the loop, reads that one. Good pursuit to the football. The former University of Hawaii star.
You get the sense when it comes to the old adage of low man wins, you're not going to get lower than Blessman Teala.
Not often.
It's a deep kick for Mark Leggio as it will come from 45 yards away. And the play clock expires before Hamilton sends the snap back. Gordon White, St. FX alum, the long snapper.
Time count violation. Hamilton, number 26. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Did Bailey Flynn just never give the signal?
Tough to say.
Timer, please reset the clock to 13:15.
Second time count violation on the Ticats. The ball game, one offensively, another here on special teams. But this is the kind of thing when we talk about the Ticats making mistakes at key times. Chance to put points on the board, making it a longer field goal attempt.
At their 13th special teams penalty of the year. Now the kick comes from 50 away. The distance, never an issue. The accuracy, not in question either. Now 6 for 6 is Mark Leggio in black and gold. And
good for Leggio coming on here in Hamilton with access Small, taking time away from the team. Small, who of course really solidified the place kicking situation for the Ticats last year. Very reliable kicker. Leggio coming over after being released by Winnipeg. He's made that seamless transition.
I was going to say that Joel Figueroa, you see there in the middle of the screen, injured on the 6-game injured list. Got to be careful with the kicker, giving him a big chest bump coming over to the sideline there. Masoli and the Redblacks offense trailing 6-0 after the second Leggio make. Goes to work from the 40. Quick throw this time completed underneath. It is DeMontre Tuggle. Got himself a game last week as Ottawa broke their 13-game losing streak at 18 touches for 132 yards.
Yeah, Tuggle over 100 yards rushing in that ball game. Putting into perspective, the first Ottawa back to go over 100 yards rushing in a game since Moses Madoon, the former Ticat.
It had been a while.
Yes.
Ottawa 2nd and 8. Pressure on. Masoli hit by Thurman, fades it up, and it is intercepted. Chris Edwards down the right sideline. And he'll get pushed out of bounds at the 30, but Hamilton with a 6-0 lead and an early turnover here in the second quarter.
Well, big play for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Tip ball. Edwards taking it back the other way, right into scoring position. A big defensive play for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. You're going to get a twist up front that's going to free up linebacker Jameer Thurman, who's going to put a little bit of pressure on Masoli. You'll see he's leaning back as he throws the football. Chris Edwards dropping deep to play a little bit of center field on this one. Puts himself in perfect position to get that tipped ball. Notice free safety Stavro Katsantonis. He was in on the blitz. He's in the lineup, by the way, for an injured Tunde Adeleke. Edwards rotating back from his nickel linebacker spot to play free.
38-yard interception return sets up the Tiger Cats as Butler cuts it back, running it once again on first down, and Hamilton committing themselves to James Butler here. The big free agency addition. So many people wondering when would he get used.
Imagine James Butler is thinking right about now, this is what I came for. Heavily involved early on and producing 8th touch of the ball game for the Ticat running back here early in the second quarter.
And Douglas Coleman, the third miss, made Abdul Kana miss. Finally brought down by Justin Howell. 1st and 10. Schultz keeps it, throws it to the outside. It's Keandre Smith. One of those extended triple options, just hanging a receiver by the sideline. Jeremiah used to run this here in Hamilton. This was a different look than we've seen in a while, though, with Schultz.
Yeah, I'm not sure this was exactly how they drew it up. So you're going to see the run fake, and once again, look at the attention that Butler has drawn with his early production in this game. But this time they're making sure they get someone out to contain Schultz. That forces the pass from the Ticat QB.
It was actually beyond the line of scrimmage, but threw the pass backwards. And Schultz this time will throw it into the back of the end zone, up for grabs, and did Sindani hold on to it? Coleman there in coverage, they'll say incomplete.
Yeah, he holds on, but I don't think he had control before he hit that sideline. You'll see Sindani starts off. It's the number 3 receiver here to the field, essentially working down the seam towards the post. Defender's got his back turned. Got it. It actually did look like he did not survive that contact with the ground at the end. If you keep an eye on the football here, it's going to pop out.
I think it's the final swipe.
Yeah, we're going to get a challenge here from the Tiger Cats.
It was the very final swipe as Orlando Steinauer will roll the dice, hoping that the answer is an overturn, a catch, and a touchdown. As we get a look at our lead official this evening. Justin McInnes, the lead official. And they'll take a look at it. Back in review. All potential scoring plays have to think automatically reviewed, but the Tiger Cats throw the challenge flag. Is Sindani into the end zone for his first in Hamilton? We'll find out when we return. Welcome back to Hamilton, reviewing the potentiality of a Richie Sindani touchdown, Dwayne, but so many layers to this one.
Well, there are. First is, does Sindani have sole possession of this football before he's out of bounds? I actually think he does. There may be the argument that he's trapping the ball against the defender's helmet before he goes out of bounds, but the ball is in his hands, I think, before he hits the end line.
The ruling on the field stands. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be third down. Hamilton is charged with timeout.
But where we're going with that is, to the official's point, to the command center's point, there's enough uncertainty, lack of clarity, that they're going to stick with the call that was made on the field, which was an incompletion.
Orlando Steinauer now 0 for 3 on the season with challenges, as he notes that one away. Loses the timeout, and so it is 3rd and 7. And a return trip to the field from Mark Leggio in field goal duty. From 20 yards away, knocks it through, and Hamilton just chipping away offensively, trying to prevent Ottawa from getting any momentum going. And the points are racking up here. As we get a look at, ever see a moose go running through the Canadian snow? It looked a little bit like this.
Yes. The naked boot, drop it out to the fullback, Marco Dubois. Turning it on the Jets down the sidelines.
Like a young Dwayne Ford.
I don't know about that.
I don't know how you run that fast away from people trying to hit you while looking down at your toes the whole way.
I'll tell you what, that one for Marco Dubois, one of the leaders by example on this Ottawa team for a number of years. That brought a lot of joy to a number of people in the Redblacks organization.
Absolutely. It's complete on the outside this time. It goes to Justin Hardy. It'll be his 14th catch of the season.
A long way to go to catch his college numbers, but Hardy making his way here in the Canadian Football League. NFL veteran, former Atlanta Falcon, now in his 2nd season as a Redblack. You see, completed his college career as the NCAA's all-time receptions leader, passed a couple years later by fellow East Carolina alum Zay Jones.
Masoli looks over the top, back shoulder this time on the outside. There's a flag down to Seosi Mariner. Hauls it in for now.
A beautiful placement on this throw by Jeremiah Masoli.
Pass interference, Hamilton, number 3. Spot of the foul, first down.
Working to Mariner on the outside. Vintage Jeremiah Masoli as he drops this one in. That throw behind. Whoop.
Oh, it did bounce out.
A little grab by Kenneth George Jr. He's going to move the football regardless.
Caught it from the backside here. It looked like he just tapped the toes and stepped away, but that one was clearly out. And the penalty ends up moving it 22 yards across midfield. This time a little jet sweep underneath to Hardy, cutting back, diving forward. And it'll count as a 5-yard pass completion to Hardy.
Well, we have talked in recent weeks and watching Montreal play about the importance of Austin Mack in their offense, a guy who's an experienced NFL player coming up here to the CFL and providing a veteran presence despite being a first-year player in a young receiving corps. Similar situation, I think, with Justin Hardy, an experienced guy, a pro. So still learning some nuances of the Canadian game, but knows how to work and figure it out.
Masoli on 2nd and 5. Completes another pass. This one is Jalen Acklin, another former Hamilton Tiger Cat. Had a touchdown on the opening drive for the Redblacks here last year in week 6.
Yeah, Jalen Acklin here, the middle slot. in this set. And a guy that the Redblacks are clearly hoping will be able to get untracked with the return of a familiar quarterback.
Harry Jones trying to get Ackland's completion percentage up, just 35% coming into tonight. Heavy set, Masoli loads it up, backdoor trying to throw it over the top. It is Dubois, and it's incomplete. He has the only receiving touchdown for the Redblacks so far this season, a month in, and he almost had a second.
Yeah, they got the call, got the read. You're going to see this time Dubois lining up as a tight end on the left side of the formation. Going to show that inside release. And you saw Simone Lawrence caught flat-footed. And I speak from experience when I say they often forget about the fullback. They don't anticipate, particularly in a formation like that. He looks like he's going to be a run blocker, and they forget about him in pass coverage.
Blitz is on from the Tiger Cats here. They flip it out to Tuggle against Jagarrett Davis in the open field. And Richard Leonard comes in to help, but not until Hamilton unable to get there, and Ottawa moves the chains again.
Yeah, quick hitter to Tuggle in the flat, picking up where he left off last week.
Masoli communicates in the backfield here with Tuggle. Garrett Davis lining up at middle linebacker, delayed rush. Masoli to his right, and back shoulders another one, incomplete that time. On first down, as it was Tuggle trying to haul it in front of 21.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure on Masoli on that one as he tries to thread the needle to Tuggle along the sidelines. Going to see the Tiger Cats again moving people around. Jagarrett Davis coming from depth in that look. Mark Washington, the mad scientist of this Hamilton defense.
On 2nd and 10, Masoli, and he goes down. Stumbles back to his feet, and Jeremiah doesn't look right.
Well, you saw him grab that left knee right away when he went down. And you see, this is how players feel about Jeremiah Masoli, as players from both teams immediately offering their concern and support.
We'll find out what we can about Jeremiah Masoli as all of Tim Hortons Field holds its breath.
Prime Day is coming July 11th and 12th with 2 days of epic deals exclusively for Prime members. You'll feel like a big deal. Deals from electronics to home. It's on Prime Day.
Is it possible to achieve the level of incredible? This way! It's the number 12. Mozzarella Bella.
You guys ready?
I'll pay for it.
We'll split it.
Split expenses with the RBC mobile app. Get the new iPad when you switch to RBC.
Lee sure is smiling.
Viagra is virtually the same price as the generics. What's not to smile about?
What's his secret?
It's not a secret. I just told you.
We may never know.
How many times do I need to say it?
Viagra. You know the name. Ask for it.
On the journey of teaching responsibility, Ford Pass Connect makes my job a whole lot easier. And the bonus? It doesn't cost me a thing.
Enjoy standard Ford Pass Connect when you drive a Ford. Start your journey at your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
I always tell my son it's better to give than receive. But when my journey includes redeeming Ford Pass rewards points, it feels good to get something in return.
Earning Ford Pass rewards points is easy when you own a Ford. Start your journey at your local Ford store or Ford.ca.
Welcome back to Tim Hortons Field. Just an unbelievable scene as Jeremiah Masoli unable to put any weight into that leg as he stumbled his way through the pocket on 2nd and 10 and just looked so strange going to the turf. Immediately grabbed for his left leg, non-contact. And man, this place is absolutely, doesn't matter what color uniform you're wearing right now. Every single guy and his family watching on, Dwayne. So much frustration. As Lewis Ward will get the first points on the board for Ottawa in a skirmish at the end of the play around where the kick came from. But Dwayne, Jeremiah Masoli in his return, I mean,
yeah, that's...
I don't have the words for it based on everything that we have talked to about everybody around the league this week.
Yeah, I mean, everybody so excited to see Jeremiah Masoli come back. A cheap shot injury that kept him out for a year. And here we are in the first half of his first game back, and just a fluke, non-contact injury as he's moving around the pocket. You saw him grab that knee immediately. So certainly our thoughts, best wishes with Jeremiah Masoli right now.
He is in the injury tent right now behind the Redblack sideline.
15-yard misconduct fouls on Ottawa, number 48, and Hamilton, number 43. First down.
Well, special teamers getting after it between these two East Division clubs. But you see Nick Arbuckle right there alongside Dustin Crum. The other quarterbacks on the roster, Tyree Adams out after winning at home last week for Ottawa. And the ACL injury somehow finished that football game. And it's up to those two right now if the Redblacks want to get a road victory. As Matthew Schultz, of course, in for Bo Levi Mitchell, who was injured in week number 2. They'll go with an end around this time. Will the Tiger Cats? And it is McAllister getting another touch here in the ground game.
Yeah, and interesting to see McAllister, who draws into the lineup. He takes over return duties from Lawrence Woods, who had been playing field corner and returning. Woods out of the secondary, but with McAllister on the roster, adding some options, a guy who played both running back and wide receiver in college. But he gives them a little bit more flexibility, a few more offensive packages.
Back to the ground game here on 2nd and 3. You need to get to the 50-yard line. And Butler stopped short of the mark as, once again, Bryce Carter's been really active in this ball game. Run and pass.
Well, we've seen Carter a number of times. Definitely committed to stopping that run, and on a sack as well earlier, but yeah, we've seen him crashing down hard, trying to take away the inside run game with Butler. Hamilton's been able to take advantage a little bit of it a little bit when they pulled the ball.
3rd and 1. It will be Powell into the game. And back up here for Hamilton. And Tyrone Freda comes down from the middle linebacker position. And the Redblacks get the stop. Hamilton unable to convert.
And I don't know if there's a team taking more advantage. The contributions of their global players. We mentioned Blessman Ta'ala earlier. Tyrone Freda as well, starting at middle linebacker. Gary Johnson in on that play as well.
So after getting points on the board, the Masoli injury means that we get our first look here at Dustin Crum, who will hand off inside. And we get a look at, not anticipating seeing Dustin Crum for obvious reasons tonight, but in his first year in the Canadian Football League out of Kent State.
And Dustin Crum, terrific college career, playing in the MAC conference, world of mid-majors that has sent so many quarterbacks north.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of action in the Canadian Football League. Improving over and over again. He'll get to throw here, or will he? Pressure's on, and Crum is down. There's Jameer Thurman with his second sack of the season.
Well, we mentioned the former Calgary Stampeder, Jameer Thurman, coming from the bottom of your screen here. It just looked like the blocker got his caught in the turf there. Thurman takes advantage going over top of him.
We have hit the 3-minute warning here in Hamilton as the defense steps up for the Tiger Cats, looking for their first win of the season.
We usually have a lot of fun here, but we had the same feeling here as they had in Tim Hortons Field and across the league. Only good thoughts for Jeremiah Masoli, but it's deflating. We're going to talk about it at half, guys.
Thank you, Matthew. Yes, I'm sure there will be plenty of discussion about that non-contact injury for Jeremiah Masoli here in the second quarter. Is officially lower body injury out. Dustin Crum looks like he'll get the remainder of the reps for Ottawa throughout tonight, as the return comes out for Hamilton from Tyreek McAllister, the 19-yard line. As Crum right now just kind of wandering around the sideline, introducing himself to some people, it feels like.
Yeah, he had his welcome to the CFL moment there from Jameer Thurman. But what will be interesting to see is if/how this impacts the play calling.
Yes.
For Ottawa, but Crum, a prototypical CFL quarterback. This is a guy who was the Mid-American Conference MVP in his senior season. Rushed for over 700 yards in addition to throwing for over 3,000 that year. Two-time all-conference quarterback.
Justin Howell makes his way off on a special teams coverage unit a little bit slowly, and the injuries starting to add up a little bit for the Redblacks here on the sideline. As you can see, Kahari Jones going through the playlist right now, Dwayne, and trying to sort out how does he attack the next drive, possibly before the first half is done. Matthew Schultz begins with a little run fake, gets it out to Tim White, and White out to the 25-yard line.
Just a quick hitter here to get Tim White involved. High percentage play off the run fake. So you see the Cats' top receiver a year ago. Just over the fingertips of Lorenzo Malden.
Yeah, Lozo's trying to bend that edge as best he can, isn't he? Trying to get home. See what he does here on 2nd and 3. Schultz will throw. Pressure on. Lozo hits his arm, and it's off the hands of Tim White. Incomplete.
It's like you're psychic, Marshall. All eyes on Lorenzo Malden on that play. Watch the quick move here to get the hands. Hands of Brandon Kemp down. Quick hand slapping around the edge, but Schultz sees it coming, gets the ball out quickly, but Tim White trying to track that ball over the big bodies at the line of scrimmage. They picked that one up a little bit late and was unable to haul it in.
Ottawa front on their defense continues to collapse pockets regardless of opponent as flags come up. And is this another time count violation against Hamilton?
Time count violation, Hamilton, number 26. It's a 10-yard penalty, remains third down.
There's Matthew Schultz flexing that right hand a little bit as he headed to the sidelines after taking that shot from Lorenzo Malden.
And Orlando Steinauer, head coach of the Tiger Cats, is all the way down at Hamilton's 10-yard line right now, fired up to try and get some momentum going on his special teams unit as this one is touched and then dropped. Now trying to stand up and put back on his seat is Scarver, who throws a punch at the end of the play after a 41-yard punt, and Gordon White is asking the official why that isn't a flag against the least penalized team in the CFL.
Well, that one I can only assume that the officials didn't see it. Scarver very clearly took a swing. Bit of a wobbly punt here from Flint that Scarver had some trouble handling.
Open hand slap versus punch.
Still a penalty.
Crum hands it off on first down. And that Tiger Cats defense, you got to think Mark Washington is going run blitz, run blitz, run blitz.
Yeah, a coach who likes to give a lot of different looks. Probably cranking it up in terms of the variety here. The young quarterback who's, in fairness, less equipped to handle that.
Second and 9 for Crum. Wide front from the Tiger Cats. They'll send 4. Crum with pressure on. Flag comes down as Malik Carney is in the backfield, but this one is going to go against the Tiger Cats.
Hamilton, number 5. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, here you'll see Carney, number 5, coming off the edge. Great spin move, but obviously in high on the initial contact. Little Odell Willis-esque on the inside spin there from Malik Carney, but all for naught.
You lose Lorenzo Malden in free agency to Ottawa. You go get Carney. A little bit of that pass rush speed off the edge. But a first down for Ottawa on the high hit. As again, Justin Hardy making a play. Refusing to go down to the ground. We asked him this week, Dwayne, how do you possibly go from being a walk-on to leading all-time NCAA pass catchers and stuff like this?
Yeah, terrific second effort here from Justin Hardy, but you know, the thing that stands out in talking to this guy, I mean, this is a guy who has plenty of NFL experience. This is Redblack, should have the first down here. But, you know, I mean, Justin Hardy, the thing that stood out to me in our conversation with him was just how humble he is in terms of the credit that he gave to other people, coaches that spent the time with him and helped develop him and called plays for him, etc. Teammates.
As Crum goes for a run through the middle, showing off the wheels in replacement of Jeremiah Masoli on 1st and 10, rolling towards a minute remaining in the opening half. And after all of the events of this first half, Ottawa has a chance to draw even or even take the lead.
Well, we mentioned earlier the running ability that Dustin Crum demonstrated during his college career at Kent State. He shows it there.
See if he goes again, sees it opening. Crum to the 5, touchdown Redblacks. Welcome to the CFL, Dustin Crum.
Yeah, as much as Dustin Crum may not have been ready for the Hamilton Tiger Cats defense, I'm not sure the Hamilton Tiger Cats defense was ready for Dustin Crum. Run fake, Cat defense collapses. Carney gives up contain on the edge. Crum turns on the Jets for his first career Canadian Football League touchdown. Great play calling by Kahari Jones.
Lorenzo Malden right there to celebrate with the rookie as he makes his way to the end zone. 6 plays, 56 yards in just over a minute. And you think back there to when Hamilton was on the field with their offense. Kahari Jones had the marker out, was checking plays off. He dialed it up, and Crum delivered.
And here it is, Jackson Bennett in the backfield. Suck in the D. No one's got that edge. Dustin Crum takes advantage.
Now the question is the shrug celebration in the end zone. Was that, man, this field's wide. That zone for the quarterback, you got a little bit of breathing
play calling that in the long run helps put your quarterback and puts your offense in a position to be successful. As from a Hamilton point of view, you think young quarterback, you're probably going to get things like a lot of run. They overcommit to defending the run. Crum makes a play to keep them honest so they can't overcommit to that.
As Nick Arbuckle talks it over with Crum. Harry Jones already thinking through the next drive. What's the next evolution of that Ottawa offense with Crum in replacement of Jeremiah Masoli? Panel will break it down for you coming up in about 54 seconds as Hamilton returns this out to the 32-yard line. Breakfast at Wimbledon. Anyone? Canadian Denis Shapovalov in the round of 16. Coverage from the All England Club continues Sunday, 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific, only on TSN.
Well read by the 2010 Eastern Ontario Junior Doubles tennis champion.
Mixed doubles.
Mixed doubles. Mixed doubles.
And my partner carried me, for the record. Schultz with pressure on. Down he goes. It's Cleon Lang.
Now turning it up. Lang, the veteran, from his defensive tackle spot. Kind of blew through the block of Coulterwood Manzi that time to make his way into the backfield.
As a reward, Lang gets to check out here on 2nd and 17. Speedsters are in the game. Schultz looks to the isolated matchup on the outside. It's Terry Godwin, and Brandon Dandridge happy to escort him to the sideline as the punting unit will come out for the Tiger Cats.
Let's go punt, let's go punt. Hey, DB
Ottawa defense forcing a little quicker throw there than Matthew Schultz would have liked. Has to settle for that route short of the first down marker. As Ottawa has suddenly grasped the momentum in this ballgame.
There you see Brandon Dandridge, 3 punt returns of 25-plus yards last Friday against Edmonton. Again, a wobbling spiral down to Dandridge at his own 28. Trying to get to the field side, and no chance that time. Anthony Federico out of Queens right there to stack the wall up for the Tiger Cats coverage unit. 45-yard punt.
Now, interesting to me to see, with under 20 seconds left in the first half, as we had seen Savon Scarver handling the punt return duties, first-year CFLer. Don't want to dwell on what happened with Edmonton the other night, but inexperienced returner made a late mistake. They go to Dandridge, who hadn't been handling the returns up to this point, late in the half.
Back-to-back 100-yard punt return games in replacement of Devontae Dedman. We talk about Masoli being down and Javon Santos-Knox not in the lineup yet. Star free agent acquisition at middle linebacker. Well, Dandridge is doing double duty, starting defensive back and working in the return game as well with Dedman out of the lineup. There were flags down at the end of the play.
15-yard misconduct foul. Hamilton, number 15. 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's the backup middle linebacker, Kyle Wilson.
It'll be interesting to see now Marshif, an extra 15 yards of field position, impacts Ottawa's thinking at the end of the half, or with the young quarterback, do you just get out of the half safely?
Well, I'm not sure if it's any tell, but Marco Dubois was in the huddle as the big fullback, and they send an extra receiver into the ball game here in C.J. Lewis. Snap comes up to Crum. They will let him throw over the middle, checks it down, and looking for a block along that right side. It is Nate Bahar, who turns around and heads to the sideline in front of Jameer Thurman. And that will do it for the first half of action. Jeremiah Masoli down and out. Dustin Crum comes in, gets a touchdown with his feet as the Ottawa Redblacks, the only major thus far, 3 field goals on the board for the Tiger Cats offense. As Mark Leggio continues his perfect streak since joining Hamilton. And a discussion happening down at field level with Kyle Wilson. Kenzie Lalonde is down at field level with the head coach of the Ottawa Redblacks, Bob Dice.
Well, Bob, the atmosphere here at Tim Hortons Field really changed when we saw Jeremiah Masoli go down. What can you tell us about his status right now?
All I can tell you is that he won't return this game, and it'll be assessed after that.
A positive light, Dustin Crum, an outstanding drive there towards the end of the second half. What can you say about his performance so far since stepping in?
Well, obviously very limited. We got to make sure we're coaching him up and not take sacks when we're in field goal range. But Dustin's done a great job, and I'm not surprised. The way he's been throughout camp has just been outstanding. I'm proud of him and all the offense. To really answer in a time like this when you lose a leader, to keep their focus and go in and score that touchdown, which is really big for us.
Thank you, Bob. Good luck.
Thank you.
Matthew, I'll send things right back over to you in the panel.
Kenzie, you could hear in Bob Dice's voice the disappointment, the emotion in that moment. I'm alongside David Sanchez, Matt Dunnigan, and Paul LaPolice. And Matty, I'll go right to you about this. Yeah. We were expecting a lot of good news, a lot of positivity, a lot of energy. This was going to turn around Ottawa's season.
That was the hope.
And here we are watching Jeremiah Masoli be lifted by his teammates off.
Yeah, it's just eerily similar to watching him blow his ACL out in the fairly similar location, same area. Disappointing. This is more than just football in the Ottawa Redblacks. This is about a return of a player and his struggles to get back on the field and do what he loves to do and earn a living. And this was a non-contact injury. He goes down, and we're speculating on what it could be, but it does look long-term. You can't put pressure on it. It looks, it's just, when that happens, that just screams Achilles to me.
Yeah.
But,
agree.
Going back to Bob Dice and that interview we just heard, we need more Bob Dice. This guy took control of the messaging right away and saying, look, we're not surprised about Dustin Crum, from Lorain County, Grafton, Ohio. Played his ball at Kent State. He's a guy that's been putting in his time. He was ready for his opportunity, and it's going to be on his shoulders now. And so he's just continuing to lead this football team in the absence of a guy that they put a lot of hope into. And, you look at Jeremiah's record, fellas. He's 27-28 as a pro. And he did some good things for 8 years in Hamilton. And he got jettisoned out of there last year. He went 0-4 for your club last year. And a lot of people had expectations and hoped that he would bring back this football team. And it just didn't happen tonight. And now it's in Dustin's hands. And it's a funny game that way, guys. It's a funny game because you never know when your opportunity is going to come. And you can't take it for granted because we've all been injured. Blown Achilles, blown this and taken out of the game because of concussions. And you just never know when it's going to be taken from you. And Jeremiah is a perfect example.
Wow.
And it's bigger than football right now. It's a quest for doing the right thing, staying present, and paying it forward, and somehow Jeremiah's going to find his way, and we'll all be there for him.
You know what? When you're going through this, and like you say, it's bigger than football. It's family. There's a lot of people around the league who have a lot of love for Jeremiah, but our job is to talk about the football part of it. And I would say, when you're going through an injury like that, like he went through, a lower body injury, and you're an athlete at that level, we've been there, you're vulnerable. And because he might not be 100% right now. Actually, he's not 100% right now. Going into this game, he was vulnerable, and that's what happens. If you have a slightly tight hamstring, you go out there, you pull your groin.
Yeah, you're not in balance.
He's not in balance. Yeah. And so I've been there. It's a sad situation. We saw as soon as he got hurt, we knew right away. We think right away it's either Achilles or calf.
Hard to watch.
It's one of those things, but very difficult to watch. And watching Bob Dice speak, watching his wife there, and also seeing his mother in the stands.
And maybe people don't have an understanding of why so many people are upset about this, because Jeremiah is somebody, I didn't spend too much time with him, but the time I did, everybody in the building he treated like they were the best friend he's ever had. He was a caring individual, right? He thought of others.
I'm thinking about Vunga, Kennedy, Serena, his kids, and it's just it's a horrible situation for him. He'll be a leader to that group. They need the help with Tyree down, right? And Dustin Crum is a very good football player. I remember him in college. I remember trying to recruit him to come up to Ottawa. Just kind of thinking about Jeremiah right now.
I'm going to go to the next part, guys. We have to start to think who in the league, at some point we have to start to discuss who in the league that's not starting at quarterback can give this team hope, because there's guys around, there's some backups. That's a conversation that they need to get to at some point in time. That's the reality of this game.
Yeah, I know you're not thinking in terms of overlooking Dustin Crum and what he's bringing to the table now, but you're looking for maybe a veteran guy. But this is his opportunity. But I'm thinking McLeod Bethel-Thompson.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Strev. I don't know if Chris Trevler. Those are guys that I think have CFL experience that come in immediately to answer your question. That's what I think of. But right now it's Dustin Crum and his opportunities worked hard for.
Let's see what he can do.
See what he's got.
We get a chance to see him now.
Yeah. I have spent 8-9 years around Jeremiah Masoli. Every time I've spoken to him, he said, I love this game. This is my life. Well, we're all praying for you, Jeremiah. Well, we both saw Montreal and BC start the season very strong, but now we're going to see what the reaction is after the first losses of the season. Cody Fajardo and the Alouettes take on Vernon Adams and the BC Lions tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Speaking of Vernon Adams, that's 6 interceptions that he threw at BMO Field on Monday night. And even though, guys, we were talking so much about how well Vernon had started the season, how crisply he was throwing the football, the way he was throwing the field, Lapo, I'll start with you. How does he respond after 6 interceptions?
The thing you're always trying to talk to the quarterbacks about is understand in this game, you can run 60 great plays, right? But 2 plays could be interceptions. The last 2 are interceptions. You're in trouble, right? Like, the leader of the team has to make good decisions, but you're going to have interceptions in this game, right? What you have to do is be comfortable with that and flush it and move on to the next play. I think at times he gets so frustrated, it may affect what he's looking at on the field, guys. And that's what he's got to do a better job of, flushing and going to the next thing. And the biggest thing I think Vernon has to do, don't listen to the critics, because the critics don't know what they're talking about. They're not in the meeting room with him. He's got to just make sure he worries about football.
Are you one of the critics, Paul?
Right?
Are you one of the critics?
I'm criticizing.
Hey, I'll tell you what. You listen to the critics. If you listen to us when we talk about how great you are, you better listen when we say you suck or you have a bad game. That's the reality of it. When someone tells me I had 2 picks to the house and I was great and taps me on my butt, then they have the right to tell me when I stink, because I did that plenty of times
They have the right to.
So don't be sensitive. Don't be sensitive when we talk about your 6 picks and we diagnose what you did, because we're also the ones patting you on the back and pumping you up when you kill it. And when you're having a great season like you did so far.
I like that, Davis. I like that. I like that a lot. I also like the perspective of you don't have to look far. If you're watching this game, Taylor, Cornelius, Jake, Mayer, Vernon Adams, you got another chance. Yeah. Jeremiah doesn't, right? So what are you going to do about that? You're going to go back out there and right the wrong and play harder, study harder, and do what you can. And just be blessed that you have a chance.
You were a star quarterback. You have plenty of free drinks and plenty of good stuff when you won games. I didn't get that. But also, no one talked about me when I stunk, but they talked about you. That's the life of a quarterback, damn it.
Vernon, we can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Deal with it.
We know you're going to bounce back. More after this. Well, the complexion of this game certainly changed in the second quarter after Jeremiah Masoli was carried off the field. But Paul Lapolice, what do you see in the stats?
Yeah, the one thing I'm going to see is that rushing yards for the Redblacks at 46. That's going to go up, guys. That's what's going to happen in this second half, right? But the Ticats got to get something going in the passing game to get them where they need to be. And 9 penalties in the first half alone for the Ticats.
We thought this was going to be the Jeremiah Masoli return game. It is not. Dustin Crum will lead the Redblacks out in the second half.
James Butler.
10-9 is the Ottawa Redblacks lead over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Is a back-and-forth battle in the first half. Down at field level, it is the starting quarterback of the Hamilton Tiger Cats with Kenzie Lalonde. Here's Matthew Schultz.
Well, Matthew, we go back to the first half, and you guys weren't afraid to run the ball quite a bit. Was that an area of emphasis coming into this game?
Yeah, you know, we definitely want to get JB involved, and we got to keep that thing rolling in the second half. So,
what adjustments do you want to make as you head into this?
Yeah, I think just not take penalties and you know, finish drives on offense. So that's what we're looking for.
Good luck. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Aiming to finish drives offensively is coming into tonight. Hamilton just 4 of 8 in the score zone. You get the sense that if Dustin Crum can put together a couple of drives here, field goals might not be good enough for Hamilton. They did win the coin toss, did the Tiger Cats, and take possession to open up the ball game. And so Ottawa will get the first touch here. And interesting to see the emotions and how it plays out for Dustin Crum getting the first touch coming out of the locker room as Mark Leggio has it on the tee. Will Hamilton begin the year 0-4? A flag comes up on the kickoff. It's out of bounds as well. And this might be the old double penalty duo for Hamilton special teams unit that's been struggling with the flags all season and tonight.
Yeah, we talk all the time about when you're playing with a young quarterback, new quarterback, backup quarterback, putting him in the best possible position to be successful. And one of the things that you want to do is make decisions that give him advantageous field position. Well, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, in terms of mistakes, penalties, whatever, are doing that for Ottawa here.
See Jonathan Kongbo in conversation with Rolando Steinauer. This ball's all the way out at the 50.
Offside. Hamilton, number 4. The penalty is declined. Illegal kick out of bounds. Hamilton. Ball will be spotted at the 50-yard line. First down.
Average starting field position for Ottawa this season is their own 34. They get it all the way up at the 50 here. What a gift for Crum. See what he does with it. Heavy set in. A show run, go run. And it is Tuggle getting his first look as we get a look at Dustin Crum's limited but interesting first half of action.
Yeah, well, the Hamilton Tiger Cats loaded it up early, came after Dustin Crum, and things were probably happening a little fast in the young man's mind, particularly on play number 1. Second time the heat comes, he's able to react to it. Use his legs and turn it into a positive play. Light bulb goes on for Kahari Jones. Maybe we can take advantage of those legs. Sets him up to run it in for the touchdown.
Dustin Hardy catches the slant over the middle. He would have caught that clean. He would have been him one-on-one against Chris Edwards with only the end zone as the option outside of a tackle.
Yeah, Hardy made this look easy as the throw was just a touch behind him. But torquing the body back while he's running forward, he's able to grab that one for an Ottawa first down. Confidence builder for Dustin Crum.
Again with the run look, Crum will keep it. Looks to the outside, gets the angle, cuts back at the 30, takes a big hit. Diving back into traffic, Kyle Wilson got a piece of him. And another first down for the Red Blacks offense.
And it creates an interesting situation for the Ottawa Red Blacks, kind of recognizing that plays where Dustin Crum uses his legs or has the option to use his legs are going to be high on their priority list in terms of playing to his strengths. But Jeremiah Masoli is out. Tyree Adams is out. If Dustin Crum takes a shot, Nick Arbuckle's back in the game at less than 100%.
Downhill running this time from the Red Blacks as it's Malik Carney getting the stop on Tuggle. I mean, Nate Bahar has been the emergency quarterback in the past. We don't know what percentage of health Nick Arbuckle's really at right now because he hasn't been the story, but Crum trying to get this running game going, which will set up the rest of their offensive success.
Yeah, it certainly will. And, you know, we talked about it a little bit towards the end of that first half, but, you know, Crum by pulling the ball helps Tuggle in the running game, helps between the tackles by threatening the edges. But the other piece, when he uses his legs when that pass rush comes, that'll slow down that pass rush and keep the D-line honest.
Hamilton bails out here. Quick screen to the outside. Goes to Scarver. Cutting back and save on Scarver. Looks like he's got another first down through the air for Ottawa as Crum now 4 for 4 and actually has as many passing yards as Jeremiah Masoli did, 37.
Yeah, just going to set up the hitch to Scarborough. They've got Ackland and Bahar out there blocking, taking the first two defenders. Scarborough makes one miss for another Ottawa first down. Great field position to start the drive, and the Redblacks under Dustin Crum's guidance, taking advantage of it thus far.
Very similar spot where Crum kept it in the zone read and ran in for the touchdown earlier. This time he hands off inside. Jared Davis finishes it off with Malik Carty and Casey Sales right there as well to make the tackle.
A second and long situation, which they've largely been able to avoid here, but we'll see what Kahari Jones dials up for his young quarterback in this situation with points on the line.
Hunter Stewart, the extra offensive lineman, out. They bring back Savon Scarver. 5 wide. Crum in the gun. Pressure from Hamilton. Crum underneath, nearly throws the interception into the waiting arms of Jagarrett Davis.
Well, 2 unblocked defenders coming from his left. You see 2 unblocked defenders coming from this side, but Jagarrett Davis, for his defensive end spot on the other side, drops. Looking to take away Crum's blitz read. Getting away with a little bit of a face mask there. Here's JG.
Jagarrett just guiding the helmet towards where the football was going. Maybe that's why didn't draw the flag on that one. But the kick is up and through. 13-9 is the Ottawa Redblacks lead. Looking for back-to-back wins for the first time since September of last year. Earlier on tonight, Jeremiah Masoli, if you're just joining us, making his return to the Canadian Football League after a year away and just stumbled awkwardly, went to the turf and had to be carried off. You could see the disappointment of even Mason Bennett, who was the first man there to tap him down, just shaking his head. And the crowd stunned by seeing Masoli go off. So many of his ex-teammates still in Hamilton. And those in Ottawa have really come to love and appreciate what he's meant to their franchise. But Dustin Crum has come in, led a couple of drives, got some points on the board, so now Hamilton's offense has to answer. Back to the running game on first down. It's James Butler with a flag down behind the play.
Well, Hamilton staying with that run game that's been successful for them through the opening 30 minutes.
Ottawa, number 6, 10-yard penalty, first down.
On a running play?
But I was thinking the same thing you were, Bob. Yes, in some instances, that would be illegal contact.
The referee Justin McInnes and his crew communicate back to the command center.
I don't think this was a play where Matthew Schultz was looking to possibly pull the ball and throw it to Tim White. So, some discussion here.
And Bobby Dice was all over this one as he came down the sideline
After
immediately.
review by the command center, there's no flag on the play. Second down.
So they pick it up and play on.
As it should be, second and short for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Timer, please reset the clock to 10:15.
So Schultz back to work on 2nd and 3. After they pick up the flag, Hamilton will run it once again and seeing some success in that little off-tackle stretch run to James Butler a couple times tonight here, Glenn.
Yeah, working the outside here, and meanwhile, back-to-back 100-yard games, but that doesn't stop Duke Williams from doing a little bit of the dirty work. Big physical receiver, cutting down the defensive end on the backside, making sure that play doesn't get run down.
I haven't seen much of that at all for Hamilton throughout the year. Run on first down for 7, run on second down, and pick up the first down. They'll go back to a first down run. Cutting back that time, Ottawa. Tyrone Freda there to finish it off.
Freda of Dutch descent, played his football, university football at North Dakota. We'll once again get another look at Duke Williams coming in the box to help out as a blocker.
Expect to see him and Coleman go toe-to-toe throughout the remainder of this second half. Schultz stands in strong, throws it over the middle. And was it intercepted? A flag is down in the offensive backfield. But Ty Cranston comes up with the interception for now.
Hamilton, number 9. Penalty is declined. First down.
The 56th overall pick to Montreal back in 2017. In the lineup is Justin Howell. Dinged, and Cranston laying out. Makes the interception. Redblack's ball.
Well, a little bit of cross signals here. Duke Williams, your intended receiver. He's running the in route on this, but keep an eye on the free safety, Ty Cranston. As Cranston steps up on the route, Matthew Schultz anticipates that Duke Williams is going to come underneath it. Williams goes over top. That allows Cranston to take that extra step forward, making the play on the football. Just uncertain timing there between quarterback and receiver. Results in the INT and another start near midfield. Favorable for young Dustin Crum.
Again with the fake run bootleg here for Crum. Around the edge, looks down the field, coming back to the football and making the play for his quarterback is Jalen Ackland.
And a spot that'll give Ackland and the Redblacks the first down. Nice effort here from the Ottawa receiver. Not a lot of pressure off the edge this time for Dustin Crum, demonstrating his ability to throw on the move.
Crowd noise in at Tim Hortons Field. Trying to cut back the run. As Jameer Thurman continues to hand battle up front with Zach Pelios.
Yeah, we had a great chat this week with Jameer Thurman. As he talked a little bit about some of the intricacies of playing in a Mark Washington defense and moving around, playing a lot of different positions, a lot of different looks. And he said he knew before he came, well-known sort of league-wide, that Washington runs a complex system.
That's protection here for Crum. He takes a shot over the middle, up in the air. Simone Lawrence has got it. Hamilton gets the interception back.
Second tipped ball INT in the ball game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Chris Edwards in the first half, and this time it's the veteran Simone Lawrence, man on the spot. Well, the Hamilton Tiger Cats create their second turnover of the game. Crum has decent protection, but just off the mark a little bit with that ball. It's tipped up in the air by Richard Leonard and Jalen Ackland. Batted around a little bit before Simone Lawrence comes up with his first pick of the year.
Well, a long way to go for Hamilton to get the win here and to get the energy back into the crowd as they have up that interception for the full length of the season, but passion blossoming at this point. Let's go down to Kenzie Lalonde for more.
Yeah, so if you've walked by City Hall recently, you may have noticed Stripes has come to life. This 10-foot tall floral feature was created 1,000 individual plants. There are 984 plants alone in the football. This has certainly created a lot of buzz around town, in particular for two lifelong Tiger Cats fans and season ticket holders, Tracy and Daryl Hayward, who actually exchanged their vows just 9 days ago in front of the sculpture. Afterwards, well, let's let him run this out, guys. Lots to celebrate in Hamilton.
Tyreek McAllister, touchdown Hamilton. 64 yards. Nice little wedding present for Tracy and Daryl.
Sudden change, points off turnover. Tracy's so excited she's got to go phone home. But Tyreek McAllister, they wanted to get this guy in the lineup. I don't think anybody's asking why right now. An explosive playmaker, great addition to the offense. And he is in for the major.
God, child, boy. They can't stop God.
Simone likes it. Points off turnovers. Not a strength of the Hamilton Tiger Cats so far this season. Haven't created very many. They didn't have an interception coming into tonight. The only team that didn't have one. And we got some turnovers now and an interception, and it turns into 6. As the extra point just outside as we get another look at McAllister's quick work on the one-play drive.
Tyreek McAllister, listed as a slot, but we've also seen him in the backfield. We know he did a little bit of both in college. He's the Ticats' primary kick returner this week because he can do things like that in space. Yeah, you get an assist, Simone.
9-0 Hamilton right now. Points off turnovers.
For Ottawa, and plenty of time left in the ball game, but perhaps putting a little bit of pressure now on the young quarterback, forcing him to come from behind.
See if Dustin Crum can throw his way back into this thing, or do they continue to mix and match? Use his legs as the weapon alongside Tuggle. Jackson Bennett returns this from the 20-yard line, cuts back at the 30, and wrapped up at the 34.
Member of that Ticats cover team, slow to get up on the play.
We get another look at the interception by Simone Lawrence. Richard Leonard's going to be kicking himself for not being able to be the one to pick this off, but it was up for grabs, no doubt, from Dustin Crum. Somebody in black and gold was going to catch it. Just happened to be Simone flying out underneath.
And decent protection, it appeared, on the play for Crum, but ball just a little bit behind Ackland. Turnover occurs, and talk about making the most of the momentum. Tyreek McAllister, speedster. You know, we mentioned earlier our conversation with Jameer Thurman this week. One of the things he revealed to us is that Simone Lawrence actually talks more than anybody thought.
Crum in the gun. Sticks to the belly of Tuttle. Now looks to throw. Pressure on. Completes it. Wide side. That goes to Jalen Ackland. He's escorted out of bounds by Chris Edwards.
Well, Dustin Crum showing off the arm a little bit. Getting this one out to the wide side. Moving the sticks, and very quickly, once again, he has the Redblacks out to midfield.
Jalen Ackland gets out the arrow. Back here at Tim Hortons Field, as he did so many times, inside run. Job by Hamilton minimizing the gain there, but the threat again of Crum in those legs. I'm just saying this because it's Hamilton, Dwayne. One of your favorites, some connections in terms of the long arms, the body. Dan Lefevre?
Yes, sir. Another MAC quarterback, dual threat MAC quarterback of note. You see Jeremiah Masoli looking on, boot on that left leg.
Certainly not how he expected to be spending the late third quarter in Hamilton. Crum leads it around, now puts his full arm into it, finds Ackland once again. Creating some chemistry on the fly here between Crum and Ackland.
Well, we thought it might be the return of Jeremiah Masoli that would ignite Jalen Ackland. So we'll see Simone Lawrence coming from the left side. Almost gets home. Justin Hardy doing a nice job helping out off the edge to force him wide. 23 versus 23. Leonard and Ackland doing battle there.
Extra offensive lineman is in for the Redblacks. They'll run it right down that right hash. Pick up a couple of yards as Jacob Ruby digs out Tuggle from the bottom of the pile.
And you mentioned it, Marshall, that constant threat of Dustin Crum running the football. Yeah, you think back to Dan Lefevre's time coming out of Central Michigan. Here with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And they basically built an offensive package around his versatility, his athleticism, and running ability.
See what Mark Washington dials up here, defensive coordinator. It's pressure. Crum has it all over him. Ball is out. It's loose on the turf. Rolling around. Hamilton trying to get on it. It's Big Teddy Laurent.
Well, back-to-back turnovers created by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They're veterans coming through. First Simone Lawrence, now it's the big fella, Ted Laurent. Ottawa gets caught here. They're trying to set up a screen to the running back Tuggle, but what screws it up is the blitz coming from linebacker Chris Edwards. Essentially on a screen, you're going to let the blocks go a little bit light. You're trying to slow them down, let them get through, but because Edwards is unblocked on the blitz, he screws up the timing. He's there faster than Crum recognizes. He's unable to get that ball to Demontre Tuggle in time. Pressure gets to him. He loses the handle.
Hamilton goes back to the running game. Butler goes east-west real quick that time as Frankie Griffin came flying through. Mo Diallo down in this game. Up front for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, Ted Laurent getting some more love. And he got tossed at the beginning of this play and then ended up with a gift at the end.
Yeah, he recovered it. You know, I'm sure if we were to ask Ted, if he wasn't having to play extra snaps with Diallo out of the lineup, he'd have had the gas to take that to the house.
He was loaded up, ready to rumble, and Crum came in trying to punch it out. 2nd and 8, Matthew Schultz complete. Duke Williams makes the grab down at the 30, but it's a Hamilton first down.
A couple veterans here doing battle. Duke Williams, Abdul Kenna. Quick hitter as they give the veteran Williams a little bit of space.
This time they split Butler out. Wide receiver to the bottom of the screen. Go the other direction. Roll and throw. DeAndre Smith makes the grab. Football is out. Wow. And the Redblacks, the last to touch it.
DeAndre Smith, the wideout on this play, is going to catch the ball right along the sideline. It's the ruling that we have. Completed pass. There he makes a move. Awesome. Punched out inadvertently off the feet of Brandon Dandridge and out of bounds. Ottawa last to touch the football. We see the frustration for offensive coordinator Tommy Condell. Missed opportunity once again. A Hamilton mistake in scoring position.
Absolutely. It's all turnovers automatically reviewed, but Brandon Dandridge working in the return game. Got himself a couple of big plays on defense over the last couple of weeks here for Ottawa. And certainly having his impact felt and making a name for himself more and more, it feels like, each week.
Yeah, he certainly is growing in reputation, it seems. And kind of interesting to see for a guy who's been around the league for a few years. Really kind of stepping forward. Getting some good advice from one of the best to ever do it in Baron Miles.
Walt Griffins alum Keandre Smith trying to shake it off on the sideline after having the football punched out. And Ottawa goes back to the ground attack.
Perhaps looking to slow things down, let Dustin Crum settle a little bit.
You know that Jameer Thurman's happy to see that, though, isn't he? Run it right into his wheelhouse.
Yes, sir.
Crowd into it here in Hamilton as Kenzie was talking about the passion in a Grey Cup hosting year. 0-3 to begin the season. They want this one bad. Crum completes it. Slant route underneath on second down. That'll move the sticks as Simone Lawrence there to finish off the play.
Crum continuing to do a solid job. They're finding Justin Hardy right around the first down marker. Again, young quarterback thrust into action. Joined the Redblacks September of last year after being let go by Kansas City.
He hands it off here. Tuggle's going nowhere. This sets up 2nd and 11 after the loss. Interesting spot here as Jeremiah Masoli watches on. You can see the frustration on his face, not having a helmet on back in Hamilton after missing 17 games. What will his replacement, Dustin Crum, do? Looks to the left, fades it over the top, and just too much arm. Intended for Justin Hardy. That's his 8th target of the night. And it falls incomplete. The end of 3 quarters in Hamilton. Looking for a chance to finally get in the win column. Can Matthew Schultz close out the deal? Or will it be the defense for Hamilton? We find out when we return for quarter 4 after this. The Hamilton Tiger Cats 3-0 coming off the bye last year. They have not lost at home to the Ottawa Redblacks since 2018. They'd like to continue that trend here, but this is a nail-biter heading into the 4th quarter. And a really interesting night with the loss of Jeremiah Masoli. Dustin Crum, we're figuring him out just like you are at home. What is he about, and what can this Hamilton defense do to close this thing out?
Yeah, and they've got to figure that out, obviously. Keep the pressure on Crum, particularly if they can get him into those 2nd and long situations. That's the key, but Crum using his legs in combination with DeMontre Tuggle, I think, is Ottawa's best option on first down. Produce however they can.
We get a look at our man, Bobby DeBow, traveling across the CFL. 9 stadiums, 15 days. Had a chance to meet him before the game. Heading home to Vancouver. It's the final stop. But he planned things out back in about February and got some intel on best ways to attack the grind. But shout out to Bobby and everybody who makes it to the stadium across the CFL. A great night for football here in Hamilton. Rain earlier has dissipated, and right through the middle, it goes McAllister. He was close to getting into the end zone for the 2nd time tonight.
Well, McAllister quickly making himself a fan favorite here in Hamilton. Make a first man miss and get north-south in a hurry. Richie Leone, you mentioned over 700 career punts. Not a lot of tackles in that time, but he does a pretty good job getting in the way on this one.
Standing there right in the middle of the tunnel that McAllister found on the middle return. Did just enough to bring 35 down. Schultz with a 2-point lead. Over the middle. Knifes it in. Duke Williams on the run.
Well, the Hamilton fans have quickly figured out the Duke chant. This is a big receiver. And his quarterback, Matthew Schultz, are on the same page this time on that in route.
After the big return by McAllister and the completion to Williams, Hamilton right where Ottawa had the football when they punted it away. They'll flip it out. James Butler. They'll swing route. And the Ottawa defense flows to the ball. Ottawa dive finishing it out alongside Adam Leclerc.
Yeah, well defended by the Ottawa Redblacks. A couple of their terrific young Canadian recent draftees getting in on the play, as you mentioned, Leclerc and Adai.
Schultz sends the receivers in motion. Blitz is on from the Redblacks. He gets it out quickly. Sindani underneath. Abdul-Kana, first contact on the play. On 2nd and long, Hamilton moves the sticks again.
Good read and reaction here from Matthew Schultz. Sees that safety blitz coming. Butler doing a nice job stepping up into the hole to pick it up. Sindani sits it down, knowing the ball's coming quickly. Tiger Cat first down.
Trying to get the ball back into the hands of Butler and trying to get him to the edge. But Ottawa turns it back inside. There's Lorenzo Malden grabbing at his arm, but up onto his feet, makes his way back to the huddle.
We'll see what Tommy Condell can dial up here. 2nd and 9. Critical situation for the Tiger Cats. Points at stake.
Duke Williams has been the go-to man in these situations. Oh, and Hamilton, the penalty trouble strike again, or did someone from Ottawa drive?
Yeah, definitely movement on both sides. It's a matter of who flinched first.
Kendrick Sarter, the right tackle. One who jumped out of his stance.
Procedure, Hamilton, number 65. 5-yard penalty, remain 2nd down.
And you'll see the right tackle, Sarter. There's some movement at the same time. It appeared in the middle of the Ottawa defense, but the defender may not have stepped over the line.
2nd and 14. Schultz, pressure on. He gets blasted, completes it to Sindani. But Schultz paid the price on that one.
You're going to get heat coming. Right side, right in Matthew Schultz's face is Bryce Carter. Wins that battle with Kendrick Sarter at the line of scrimmage. Stands in there to make the throw, but again, has to settle for the short route with the ball getting out early. Penalty creates 2nd and longer, and they're settling for a field goal, keeping it as one-score ball game.
Leaving the door open here with 10:50 remaining in the 4th quarter. It is up and good for Mark Leggio. Simone Lawrence trying to close this one out. Got himself a couple of big hits earlier on tonight. An interception. Nobody would like to see a home Grey Cup victory more than Simone Lawrence this season. We'll see what he can do here in Week 5 next. There has been a lot of changes on the Hamilton Tiger Cats roster in a year in which they host the Grey Cup. This is last year. You're looking at Week 6 against the Ottawa Redblacks. All those red X's, that's changes. That's people that are in differing spots all over the board here with this Ticats club. Turnover for the Ottawa Redblacks. Seen a fair amount of it themselves as Sean Burke taking over as general manager. Bob Dice, head coach. They watch on as Dustin Crum trails by 5 with 10.5 left here in the fourth quarter. This one outside. COC Mariner makes the grab right in front of Kent George Jr.
Mariner doing a good job right along that sideline. Having the feet in bounds for the completion. And we haven't seen Dustin Crum go deep at all since he came into the game at quarterback. But
they'll hand it off right down that hash once again. As the Red Blacks, you see Drew Desjardins in the shot right there. One of the changes going into this season, this last year, July, against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. There's all the changes that they've gone through as well. Different people, different places, free agency additions, trades, moving guys into starting roles that weren't starters last year. You name it, it's been done.
can you tell that these two teams didn't end 2022 the way they wanted to?
Month into the season, so many changes even from the start of June. Crum with the pressure on. Man coverage, throws an interception. Picked off by Richard Leonard. He missed one earlier. He gets this one right into his chest.
It all starts with the pressure on quarterback Dustin Crum. Casey Sales among those denting the pocket. He buries the quarterback, holds him down for the 3 count. Leonard versus Acklin in the slot again. Once again, ball thrown a little bit behind. Acklin on the break. Right into the chest of Richard Leonard. No tip ball drill this time. Just an interception. Third of the ball game for the Tiger Cats. Veteran players coming through, creating the turnovers. Leonard, Lawrence, Ted Laurent with a fumble recovery, and Chris Edwards.
Quarterback draw from Matthew Schultz, crosses the 55 and picks up a black and gold first down with momentum.
Well, defense coming up big, setting things up for the Tiger Cat O. Nice run there from Schultz.
Gotta love Kemp looking over the shoulder, dealing with that twist up front. No holding, right? We're good? All right. Into Ottawa territory at the 51. And off to Butler. Trying to find anywhere to run. So many Ottawa uniforms there. Flowing up front again, Michael Wakefield alongside Frankie Griffin.
Yeah, it looked like Ottawa anticipated this one pretty well, as you're going to see. Everybody seems to be immediately flowing to their right, anticipating where that ball's going.
How about the finish from Wakefield?
With authority.
Baron Miles looking on. They send a pressure look here against Schultz on 2nd and 12. One-on-one to the backside. They screen it out. And very conservative underneath. Hamilton pretty content to let that one play out as Richie Sindani gets another touch.
Well, the Ottawa defense, after giving up that quick first down on the quarterback draw, holds tough to keep this as a one-score game. 5-point deficit for Dustin Crum and the Redblacks. That'll be interesting to see if this ball looks like it's going into the end zone. If they make the play for field position for the young QB, giving up the single.
Willie Flint sends it away. It's a good kick that will drive him back inside the 5 to the goal line. And out of the end zone on cue after a 51-yard punt, Brandon Dandridge takes the football out. Hamilton with a 5-point lead. Alonzo Adai makes the play. Redblack still alive. The Ottawa Redblacks starting 3 quarterbacks in their first 4 games. The first time ever as Tyree Adams took this massive hit from Jake Ceresna that was flagged and fined. He goes out with an ACL. Jeremiah Masoli tonight. This awkward play where he stumbles to the turf, has a boot on and crutches right now on the Redblack sideline. Nick Arbuckle has been dinged as well, so he was downgraded on the depth chart. On and on it goes. As the signal callers on the Redblack sideline battling health. Dustin Crum is the result. He's in the ball game right now from the 5-yard line. Trying to find some breathing room, that handed off inside, and that's going nowhere. In a really difficult field position setup for Crum as a flag comes out at the end of the play, Dwayne, thanks to special teams. Yeah, and this is the point I was making as the ball was being punted, is 5-point deficit for Ottawa. Giving up a single point to go down 6, really not a concern. Still a 1 point, 1 possession.
Unnecessary roughness, Ottawa, number 64. Half the distance to the goal, 2nd down.
Touchdown deficit. Give up the single point. Don't leave your quarterback seeing his first game action in the CFL. Don't leave him backed up to his own goal line when you can start out at your own 35. Of course, the gap with Edmonton in the return game highlighted this week as they try to get a victory, unable to against Saskatchewan. Hamilton trying to get a win here against Ottawa at home. Brown with the hard count. Nobody taking the bait up front from the Tiger Cats. Deep in his own end zone, checks it down underneath. Crossing signals and bodies. It's Hardy unable to hold on to the football. And again, your playbook is so limited down there, and especially with a young quarterback managing the situation, you're basically trying to avoid disaster as much as you're trying to move the football. Not a lot they can do. Now they're in a situation backed up, punting from their own end zone. Likely giving Hamilton and Tyreek McAllister terrific field position here. Send it away to Leone. Automatic field position for the Tiger Cats as McAllister, a 43-yard punt. Looks like a no yards flag is down, and another flag well behind the play at the end. We will sort it all out for you when we return to Hamilton. A 5-point advantage. Welcome back to Hamilton. The 0-3 starts the season since 06. The only year they made the playoffs, 2014. Last year, 2022, with an eventual Eastern semifinal loss on the road against the Montreal Alouettes. As the Hamilton proud flag makes its way across the stands at Tim Hortons Field. And the offense back to work with great field position. Hamilton starts with the run. Butler right down the middle of the hashes. Finally wrapped up by Abdul Khanna. Good hard run right up the gut from James Butler. Nice run support from the secondary. Abdul Khanna, the halfback, stepping into the hole to take him on. A terrific first down play for the Ticats. Second and short. Schultz stays in. Plunging his way forward. And some fighting across the line of scrimmage at the end of that one.
They'll spot the rock and sort it out. And now a late flag comes up. Well at the end of the play. Is that the end of the last play or the start of the next one?
Objectional conduct, Ottawa. Number 28. It's 10-yard penalty. First down.
The reaction suggests to me that Duke Williams drew this flag. But nonetheless, dead ball fouls, emotional penalties. They'll kill you.
They'll just say, go on, Inspector Ford.
Well, I've watched a lot of CSI in my day, Marshall.
You piece that one
and
together?
The evidence, the high fives from his teammates, and the celebratory dance when the flag was thrown. A little bit of jawing after that, and the flag came later.
Butler running through arm tackles. Gets a couple before Freda brings him down. Griffin watches on from the sideline, speaking with Gary Johnson Jr.
Looking at roles, you know, we've often referred to running backs, Andrew Harris, Brady Oliveira in Winnipeg, as the closers. Now, James Butler was definitely the starter tonight, but they should be looking to him to be the closer here as well.
Well, empty it out. Schultz running away from pressure, likely a holding call. And Schultz throws this one away down that right sideline. Penalty likely declined here with the field goal unit heading out if it is holding.
Holding, Hamilton, number 66. Penalty is declined. Third down.
This one on the left tackle, Brandon Kemp. Not the first guy to get in trouble trying to block Lorenzo Malden. Now you're going to see on the scramble. Watch for Terry Godwin on this play as Schultz is scrambling. Godwin ends up wide open in the end zone, but Schultz doesn't have time to get back to him.
Eyes went right. Godwin is right down the middle. Might have been a major, but it results in 3 more. 21-13, Hamilton up over Ottawa.
Well, big points for Mark Leggio and the Tiger Cats, but not putting this one out of reach just yet. Redblacks will opt to start with the ball at their 40-yard line. Again, field goal and a drive greatly aided by that decision on special teams to field the punt and bring it out of the end zone.
Likely the last play before the 3-minute warning. Hamilton drops into zone. Strong finds the open receiver. It's Savon Scarborough down that right sideline, and that will send us to the 3-minute warning. Hamilton trying to break an 0-3 start to the season. Disappointing loss against the Montreal Alouettes here back in week 3. We'll try to close it out with a stop when we return.
Swiss Chalet's 2 can Dine for $19.99 is here. Enjoy 2 quarter chicken dinners with 2 sides, 2 buns, and 2 chalet sauces. That's right, for only $19.99 for 2 weeks only. 2 can Dine won't last long, so hurry in to Swiss Chalet.
Is there anyone not chasing us?
Go, 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 go!
Ethan, this mission is gonna cost you dearly.
Hang on!
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Okay, got it.
Ray Magliozzi here. eBay Motors has the right parts at the right prices. Let's see, you'll need headlights and a bumper. At least you can skip the car wash. For parts that fit your vehicle, look for the green check. Let's ride.
Ugstapated. Feeling of discomfort from constipation.
Restorelax relieves constipation gently without causing gas, bloating, cramping, or sudden urge to go. Take comfort in Restorelax. Try Restorafiber Daily Gummies. Prebiotic fiber.
This is Susan. She's getting hot peppers and extra ghost pepper sauce on her Harvey's crispy chicken. Thing is, we customize everyone's order just the way they want. So all that winking isn't really necessary. Though we do prefer it to nudging.
Time now for our Coors Light moment of chill. Former quarterback working it out down at field level. Kari loves to sling it around. Eh? Can't get that guy off the field pre-game. He gets more attempts up than anybody else on the field, but not sure he anticipates seeing Dustin Crum get some throws up tonight. He has, and they've certainly tried to gel on the fly, but they will need a big push late in the fourth quarter if Ottawa wants to get back-to-back wins for the first time since last September. Crum against four-man pressure, got some room in front, and Marco Dubois in front of him. On second down and one, wisely uses the legs and crosses midfield.
Yeah, good decision. Keep it simple. Don't force anything. Move the sticks and live to fight for another down.
Malik Carney. Final impact to bring down Crum. Quick throw, batted down, and Simone Lawrence nearly had his second of the night.
Simone all over the field tonight. His most active effort of the year, right up in the top corner, top left corner of your screen. It's the Ticats weak side linebacker coming on the blitz. Getting blocked by Jacob Ruby there just as he goes airborne to knock that one down.
And his linebacking partner, Jameer Thurman, calls for noise. Don't worry, Jameer. I think they know. 5 options for Crum. Pressure on! Down he goes! Who else? Thurman!
Well, a couple former Calgary Stampeders combining on this one. You're going to see Jagarrett Davis from the inside. Jameer Thurman coming around the horn free. Davis will occupy the blocker. Freeing up his buddy for the sack.
Timeout, Hamilton.
Maybe that's why Jameer was asking for noise. He knew he was the primary that was supposed to loop around and make the sack. Firing himself up as Orlando Steinauer maybe asking for a reset on something, but Jameer so articulate. Talked this week with us about the game being taken away during the pandemic from him, made him kind of reassess bigger picture, life, how he wanted to lead it, how he wanted to play the game of football, and you can see here in Hamilton, 9 tackles tonight, 2 sacks. He's on a crazy pace. Leone, spiraling boot, down to the 16 and no return. Ottawa flips field position with a 47-yard punt.
That's on the Ottawa defense. Right now to get a quick change of possession. Give the ball back to Dustin Crum with field position and time. For Hamilton, we mentioned earlier, is it going to be James Butler? As they look to keep that clock running, maintain possession of the football.
Don't go anywhere. We've seen this script between these two teams so many times the last couple of years. Trying to run it in between the tackles. Flag out comes all the way from the defensive backfield. as the conversation continues at the line of scrimmage.
Never met a coach who likes dead ball fouls. Still sorting things out at field level.
It's very relaxed in the stands.
Well, when you're the extra official, the emergency official, it's not nearly as stressful, Mark.
Well, kind of like Dustin Crum, you get the emergency call-up. That can be pretty stressful, but...
There's no foul on the play. The Hamilton player was inside the block, so he was able to block low. It'll be second down.
Inside the box.
We'll take a look.
Timeout, Ottawa.
Felix Garon-Gauthier in motion. Again, ruled to be inside the box, i.e. within 3 yards of the offensive tackles.
And the goal of that obviously being to not have receivers, fullbacks flying across at full speed and submarining the knees of opposing linebackers and defensive ends. So
you know what we call those blocks, Marshall?
What was that, Dwight?
The good old days. No, I kid. Always much preferred to take someone high myself. Not big on the cut block.
With good reason. Two minutes remaining, play clock rolling. Second and 10. After the run was stuffed on first down. Will Ottawa get possession back? Sindani complete.
A huge first down there. Richie Sindani, who's really kind of made his presence felt tonight in that Hamilton Tiger Cat receiving corps. 7 catches for 56 for Sindani tonight. Thank you to the Sultan of Stats, John Russin.
They will bring out the sticks to get a closer look at it. As Sindani was close, knifing upfield. And it will be, as the football twists at the end of the measurement. Decision was already made.
Yeah.
First down, Ticats.
Richie Sindani, a consistent threat for Hamilton here tonight. Another reliable veteran option for Matthew Schultz.
Sindani and Garon-Gauthier swapping in and out depending on personnel packages tonight as they've mixed in more of the run. We'll see where they go on first down. Back to Butler. He heads for the sideline. Nowhere to go. As Wakefield all the way outside the numbers from his defensive line spot.
Yeah, Ottawa reading that one. As Hamilton loading up. Going big, as you see on the left side of the line. Garon-Gauthier in as a tight end. Butler taking it to that side of the field, but Ottawa all over it. Force another second and long here. Down under a minute and a half in this ball game, though.
Last second down, they went to Sindani. Saw those Ottawa fans waving goodbye to Ottawa's bench. Not so fast. Second and 10. Schultz skips it. Intended outside. Terry Godwin. And Hamilton will have to punt it away. Never wave goodbye in a CFL game.
And here you see the one hopper got away from Matthew Schultz. Ticats able to run a little bit of time off the clock on that drive. Gain a little bit of yardage, take away from the starting field position for Dustin Crum and the Ottawa offense as they look for the comeback.
Flint. This one hangs high over Tim Hortons field. It's bobbled and back on top of it. Another adventure on a 47-yard punt for Brandon Dandridge. How about a little Sunday night football to wrap up your Week 5? Cody Fajardo and company heading cross-country to take on VA and the Lions. CFL on TSN tomorrow. Montreal and BC, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. The action continues all weekend only on TSN. VA trying to bounce back from that wild 6-interception game on Monday in Toronto as the Argos stay undefeated. Montreal falls to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Canada Day weekend. See if they can each get back to their winning ways to start the season. Dustin Crum would love to get a win here in his first action in the Canadian Football League. Takes off running, makes a man miss across midfield. Crum stays on his feet all the way down to the 48-yard line. And Ottawa's in business with 48 seconds remaining.
Well, as this one unfolded, I saw he had his running back in the flat. A little surprised that he didn't make that throw, but Dustin Crum went for the upgrade, tucked it, and ran himself for the big gain.
22 yards. Crum now uses the arm, looks outside, but incomplete. They'll say it skipped into the waiting arms of Nate Bahar, who pops up and taps his head, asking for a replay.
Pretty clearly touching turf just before it reached the Ottawa receiver. Good call.
Tiger Cats crowd into it, trying to finish it out and get a home victory. Crum right, comes back left, throws a strike. Hardy makes the grab inside the 35. First down, Redblacks.
And how about Dustin Crum giving his team a chance here? Big run followed by a big throw.
They whistle it in, 30 seconds remaining. Crum stands tall in the pocket, flips it outside, and it's held on to. Avon Scarver steps out of bounds.
Yeah, much needed stoppage of the clock. Even just to let the young quarterback take a deep breath and gather his thoughts. Again, fascinating in that in managing this game, we haven't seen Dustin Crum push the ball deep at all. But he may need to. With 22 seconds to go, 32 yards away.
Four-man pressure. Crum, pressure on from behind. He just gets it away. It is complete on second down, diving forward. Is Nate Bahar, wrapped up by Simone Lawrence.
Yeah, it looks like the spot is going to have him just short of the first down. Just a little late in his arrival.
An interesting one here to decide not to go short yardage and just move the sticks. They'll just play base offense. Crum in the gun. Looks down the middle. Complete. First down, Redblacks. They'll stop the clock to set the chains. 7 seconds remaining, Dwayne, and they got to take a shot to the end zone.
They sure do. Outcome of this game is going to come down to what would be Dustin Crum's longest pass.
Late substitution from Hamilton. Crum's going to take off and run. They find the end zone. Stacked up and brought down inside the 5. Hamilton gets the stop. No flags down. Their first win of the season.
A big win for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And while there are no consolation points for Ottawa, how about the chance Dustin Crum gave them? game-tying score. We'll take a look at this last play. We've seen Crum use his legs throughout. Hamilton's looking to take away the deep pass, so he sees a ton of green turf in front of him. Elects to run. Close, but no cigar. Chris Edwards stepping into him to make potential game-saving tackle. Of course, had they scored the touchdown, they still would have needed a 2-point convert. But again, big win for the Tiger Cats on the shoulders of their defense. You know, and quite frankly, strong debut for young Dustin Crum at quarterback, coming in a tough situation for these Ottawa Redblacks.
The eerie moment of Dustin Crum getting tackled down inside the 5, looking up and seeing triple zeros in the 4th quarter. Ottawa was that close to forcing the issue, going for 2 to tie it. They don't get the chance, and Hamilton gets their first victory on home turf in a year in which they host the Grey Cup. Montreal, BC coming up for you tomorrow. Rounds out week 5. The Ticats defense gets it done. Hamilton back in the win column. Time now for SportsCenter.
Wow, what a finish there. Welcome inside SportsCenter. Adam Scully welcoming back Nikki Reyes. Nikki, good to see you. Welcome back to SportsCenter.
It's great to be back.
Absolutely. So we're going to begin with that great game, the Redblacks and the Ticats. Now heading into it, all eyes were on Jeremiah Masoli, and unfortunately, the worst happened.
Yeah, Jeremiah Masoli making return after 365 days to be exact, kind of like me. And it was supposed to be a great night for Masoli, back from a leg injury that kept him out for a year, but unfortunately in the 2nd quarter, Masoli stumbles and falls to the turf. He reaches for his left leg. He tried to get up and walk, but just couldn't do it. So the trainers came out to take a look at him. A non-contact injury. You hate to see that. Just awful, awful circumstance here for Masoli. He couldn't put any weight on his left leg, had to be helped off the field. Rookie Dustin Crum came in to replace him. The Redblacks driving before the half. Crum keeps it for himself and runs it in from 15 yards out. That makes it 10-9 Ottawa. Meanwhile, Masoli moving on crutches at halftime, his lower leg in an air cast. Meantime, Hamilton still looking for their first win of the season. 3rd quarter, Crum's pass gets juggled around and ends up in the hands of Simone Lawrence for the interception. First play of the turnover, Matthew Schiltz to Tyreek McAllister, and McAllister does the rest. 64-yard catch and run. Hamilton up by 2, heading to the 4th quarter. Now, 9 minutes to play. Ottawa driving. Crum throws his 2nd pick of the night. Richard Leonard gets this one. The Ticats closing in on their first win of the season. So Ottawa's one last chance. The young Justin Crum scrambling for the end zone, keeps it and just comes up short to tie the game. But what a valiant effort by the Crum. A little short, a little too late as the Ticats, like I said, get the first win of the season, 21-13, the final. Now, the Redblacks have lost 7 straight games to the Ticats. They haven't beaten Hamilton since 2018. Ticats have won 5 straight meetings against the Redblacks at Tim Hortons Field. With more now, here's Matthew Shinetti and the panel.
We just saw the scoreboard, and it's great that the Ticats got their first win of the season, and there are a lot of questions about many aspects of what's going on in Ottawa right now. But the fact is, we're going to be talking about Jeremiah Masoli because it is very hard for us to understand the emotions that he's going through after a year ago tonight, Lapo. You were there when he had that injury against Saskatchewan. We're all getting texts from so many people across the league expressing their emotions. Lapo, what are you feeling and what are you hearing?
This is what I think about, Jeremiah's got 10 years in this league, guys, and he has been an outstanding representative of the Canadian Football League. And, when I talk to friends in the United States, he was a great college football player, guys.
Yes.
And when I bring up players in this league, they all know Jeremiah Masoli, right? And he has been an ambassador to us that's been outstanding. You know, as a role model to all the people he worked with, like, everybody loved spending time with him, being around him and everything. I just think this is difficult, obvious for him and his family, right? And he's just such a great kid. I'm so disappointed for him, and I'll think of him. Love you, Jeremiah. I'll call you when I can get a chance.